All right, well, it's 7:32, and I'll say welcome to everyone. I think you all know me, but just in case you don't, I'm Kari Evans, the District 44 Public Relations Manager, and I am here with our guest presenter, Jim Fuse. He is from Rising Phoenix Toastmasters and Fusion Marketing, and he is a social media expert. He's going to share how to use LinkedIn to promote your club and yourself, and he'll be able to share how to get started on LinkedIn, creating a LinkedIn page, and then tips for promoting the club, creating events, building your network, and all kinds of great information that he's going to share about LinkedIn. So I'd like to, at this time, turn it over to Jim.
Well,
Thank you,
thank you.
Jim.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm glad that I'm able to help my fellow Toastmasters in this something that I think is really important. A couple statistics people may not know about LinkedIn. There's currently 675 million people now using LinkedIn. There's about 30 million company pages, and it's the average income of a person on LinkedIn is about $75,000. So it's not what people used to think of as the place where you put an online resume. It's truly become a business to business and people to business platform where people are putting out all kinds of content. I'm fortunate to be one of those people. I actually go live on LinkedIn once a week, so I'm able to actually do live video on LinkedIn. Those that are not able to, you can upload up to 10-minute videos, and so that's another thing to think about. But one of the things that happens if you don't have a company page is that you're really setting yourself up as an individual for people going and looking at your competition and other stuff. In fact, I'm going to share my screen real quick. If it'll let me here. Oh, I guess you have to stop sharing first. And let's show you guys. Let's see here. Go to my LinkedIn tab here. Oh, that's not it. Gotta move this. There we go. And so you'll see if I were to pull up that's someone I think that I know that might not have a I think actually let's test someone. Let's see. We're gonna put you in here, Carrie, and see if you have one for your business, not for, I know you have one for the district. So when you come down and look at people's stuff, so see, they have one, but if we go to something, see, she's done a good job. She's learned everything she has a detail. Now I'll actually go back to mine because my older jobs, I didn't necessarily put something. And so like, this is my old company. I've never set anything up. So if I go to it, you'll see, right, it starts to show other results. So that's one reason at a minimum to at least make sure your most current experience or company has a page set up. And I know that Carrie is sharing in the actual profile, or there's a handout. This is where we start to create the company page under work on our homepage. And it's as simple as we click, so for most of your clubs, if you're going to create a club page, you're going to start out with the small business, and then you're going to put in all these identifiers. You're going to upload your logo, and I know that Toastmasters has the official logos that you can download, and then you have to just click your verification. So once you have the verification, and in fact, let me share, because I know I've been helping with, here's our district page as an example. And you can see I have what's called an admin view. So everyone that you can have multiple administrators, and that's just a matter of going over, and under admin tools, you're able to manage admins. The other thing you can now do as things get better is, so you can actually invite people that are connected to you to like the page. So as an example, let's see, I think Roxanne is on here already, so I probably won't find her. So if they've already been invited, they won't show up.
Just
But
one.
if you know, do you know somebody that I might be connected to that, I'm trying to think of someone. Um, who do we know that probably does not realize we have a page? And these are all my first level connections.
Oh.
Um, and of course, if I start going through
Does
here,
Roy know we have a page?
yes, Roy's following the page.
Okay.
So I don't know
Oh,
if
Valerie.
Valerie is, if I can spell, let's see. Yeah, so see here, I can select her and then I invite her. So now she's going to end up in the network tab. So she'll have a pending invite for the page. This is also where you'll see event invites as well. So you can actually invite people to start following your page. So even for your companies, that may be something if you're trying to get the number of people that are following your page up. That's a nice thing that they've done. Every once in a while it disappears, but yeah, right there under admin tools. And then if I want to see what it looks like to as a non-administrator, I just click it as a view as a member. And now this is what it looks like to someone visiting the page. And so you can see Carrie's got the nice header set up, and you got the logo, tells you how many people are following the page, lets you visit the website, and here she's got the post going and keeping things pretty consistent. And so that's one of the big things about it. Now, one of the things, I'm going to go back to viewing it as an admin. When you're setting up your page, it's going to actually have you go through step by step all these little things that you need to add, right? She's added the tagline. You're going to pick your business type. You'll get some analytics. And then if people have clicked the button is really people going to visit the website. That's what the choice has been. But you'll also notice that there's 3 community hashtags. So let me get that out of the way. People are sad we had to cancel a
Oh.
LinkedIn meetup because of the event, or I should say not the event, because of the virus. So we picked these 3 hashtags for a specific reason. These are the hashtags that if anybody on LinkedIn were to do a post about, you're able to actually, comment as District 44 Georgia Toastmaster or whatever your page is. So this isn't the place that you want to try to get too cute in a way of like putting in a, um, hashtag Poke Street, hashtag Rising Phoenix, because nobody's following that hashtag. That doesn't mean you can't put it in, like she's added these others as well. You can always add additional, but these are the ones that are going to let you comment. And so if we go as an example and click on leadership, these are the people that are putting posts in here as leadership. And if I were to go in here under the comment block, you'll see I'm ready to comment as if I was Toastmasters, not as me, the individual. So it's got to be a hashtag that I want. Now, what's the advantage of this is if I see these comments, I might be this Lori person, then I can actually, she might say, oh, I'm going to go check out this Toastmasters International profile and find out where it takes me. So that's one of the reasons you really want to think about the hashtags that you pick. If you find that you're not getting a lot of traffic on one, like if we found a better one other than Toastmasters, you can always just edit it and replace it. So that's another one of the really good things about it. Couple other tools I wanted to show you guys real quick. So as an example, if we go back to our page, so if you wanted to change this up, you can use a program like Canva, and Canva is a free tool at canva.com. Will let you create templates and designs. And then another little tool I use to help with that, this is Colorzilla. It actually, what it does is it loads into your toolbar. So as an example, if I wanted to match this blue in Toastmasters, I click on here I say I pick a color from a page, and you can see up in the box at the top, it's giving me the exact code for that color. I just click it, it's now copied to my clipboard, and so I could take it over into my tool like Canva. So I want to make sure that if I'm staying on point with the branding. So that's another neat thing you can do.
And thank you, Jim, for that branding plug. I didn't even put him up to that.
Well, I mean, branding is one of the most important things, whether it's your business or professional, you know, and it kind of ties over into your LinkedIn and personal. Um, does anybody have any questions at the moment in regards to the company page or the page that we have here?
Jim, this is Catherine. I do have a quick question.
Sure.
I did not see where you went to create the company page. So
Oh,
if you
okay.
could show me that
Yes.
step again.
Right here under work, it'll give you a drop down. If I think I'm competing with the messenger bar, yeah. And this scrolls up and it's create a company page.
Okay.
And you can have as many at least right now, you can have as many company pages as you want, but obviously you want to be you know, a legitimate person doing it for them. But like in this case, right, at some time, if you know, I could be removed from this as an administrator, or you know, I could help carry out and add people if we needed to add people. One other point too, under content, this is a way once you've completely filled out your page, so you can search for things like that. You may find an article in here that you want to share to your page if you're looking for things. So you can search by industries, you can look for trending content. So that's another way to do that. The other thing you can do as well is, I'm going to open another tab real quick. I'm going to go to toastmasters.org. And so if I wanted to take, say, one of these resources and like take a public speaking tip, as long as it's a link, you know, we could take this link up here, copy it, and then come back over to the page, and where we start a post, I would just paste it. And then I could add my own comments about it. So that's another way you can take website information from other um, websites, that if you want to put the article on LinkedIn to help share, you could do that as well. So that's another way to, you know, because ultimately you want to create content. And the other thing you can do, so if I go into my home feed, as long as I'm an admin on the page, right, I could even take Gary Vaynerchuk's post and I could share it by hitting this drop down, and I could take it to that page, right? When I hit save, it's going to start, see, it's ready for me to write, and it would share his article to my page. So that's another way to really add some content that's going to help make your stuff stand out. And the big thing, I think, in general, and I think Carrie's doing a great job of it, is being consistent and getting content out there. And then you can always, as well, another little trick people don't always realize, you can take like this and you can copy this link and you could share it out other places. So maybe your club has a Twitter account or even a Facebook account, and you could say, hey, go check out our post on, you know, LinkedIn, and this link will then, wherever you've posted, now you can bring people to your company page and get hopefully more followers, because that's kind of the idea, is you want more eyes on your stuff. The more people that get involved, the more people see it. So that's another little trick, is you can take some of these older posts and just by hitting the three dots, copy the link to the post, and you can even message people in LinkedIn as well with that post. So that's a couple tricks there. Any other questions on pages? It's really fast to set a page up. The biggest thing is just having your graphics together, figuring out what those 3 hashtags are going to be, and it literally walks you through step by step in order to get it set up.
And Toastmasters International has developed a step-by-step guide to starting a LinkedIn page, and that is included in these slides, and I will share that with everyone.
Right.
For you to reference back to in case you forget.
Right. So I'm now going to go over to, because I know this was the other part of what Carrie wanted me to talk about. I'm going to talk about your personal profile. So a couple things is what a lot of people don't do, and you want to view your profile, you just go under the me, and then you can view your profile. So there's a lot of real estate here, and things are continuing to change. So one thing is you want to make sure you have a current photo. So if you need to, go out, get a photo. One of the things I recommend from a personal branding perspective is make sure your photo matches from platform to platform. So this is my business headshot, and it's the same on my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook business page, and even on my YouTube channel that I have for my business, I use this photo. The other thing people don't always take advantage of is this header image, which you can go into Canva as well and update. This is kind of a way to showcase some of the things you do and why people might want to connect with you. So, whether it's like if you are, in Carrie's case, as a PR person for Toastmasters, and also what she's doing with her career, she could have a couple photos up here, kind of a collage. And you just want to make sure you may have to play with it to get the sizing right. And this is something you might think of changing up, say, quarterly if things are changed, so you keep things current. The other thing is, and this is a recommendation that was given to me by a gentleman that I saw speak recently, is this your headline, which is what this part is right here under my name. And we get to that by hitting the edit button, and you'll see it's right under there, is sometimes make this what you want to be, not necessarily who you are. Because I have seen even where people will put that they're, unemployed, just, say I'm an aspiring program manager, whatever the case may be. In my case, I put that I'm a speaker. Not that I'm getting paid a lot to speak, but it's definitely something that I want people to think of me as. So I've gone ahead and plugged that in. You're about, this is something as well. You can really put some good bullet points about what you do. Make it so people have an idea of like, okay, what am I getting when I talk to this individual? These are things that you will see on your own profile. You've got and so another thing too, this is actually a great way to see how active someone is on LinkedIn. You'll see on their profile, see all activity. And so if you click on it, you will see this part here is where they're commenting or liking or even posting their own stuff. Here's if they've written any articles. Here's their post that they have posted themselves. And then over here, you have documents. If they've uploaded documents or PDFs, and this is like when I put the PDF up when we did the Speakers Bureau, it's still out there. We had 2,937 views of this post.
Wow.
And that was all organic. So that's kind of the beauty of LinkedIn that people don't see. And you can also tag people in your post even if you're not connected to them, and that's by using the @ sign. I'll show you guys a little bit of that in a minute. But
Jim,
that's so that.
quick question.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Roxanne. So on your page, you had like you were a consultant and a speaker. Do you have any buzzwords that would be good for clubs to put in that?
Well, so that would be under their tagline on the page. So as an example, let me go over here. So you'll see like on my business page, what I put for my tagline was, it's because we're going through the sharing while changing. Fired up to help you succeed in the constantly changing world of digital marketing.
Okay.
So District 44 Toastmasters has said,
Where leaders are made.
I think it's,
Where leaders are made.
yes, where leaders are made. So you might copy the same thing for the Toastmasters Club, or you could even, like, you know, Rising Phoenix. We have not created a company page, but if we did, we might say something along the lines of, you know, helping, you know, speakers develop their craft in, you know, Eastern Cobb County, something like that.
Mhm.
You know, whatever it is that the goal of the club is. So that's where that would show up in there. That's what they call your tagline
Okay.
on a page. So yeah, but as far as an individual, yeah, you have a little bit more flexibility on the individual side. But this is kind of the equivalent of that right here. If that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, this is Catherine. I have another follow-up
Sure.
question.
Sure.
You mentioned the Speakers Bureau flyer
Yes.
that you uploaded.
Yes.
So when I was creating the our open house flyer, one
Uh-huh.
of the problems I had was, like, I think for Facebook, you have to use
A photo.
like a JPEG.
Yes.
So do you have, like, can you recommend like some conversion software that's free?
Right here. When I create designs, so I'm able to, as an example, where is one I just did recently? I'd have to refresh my. So this is a flyer that I created for this event that got canceled. So when I download it, I can change the file type: PNG, JPEG, PDF. And so you could literally create the same photo, save it as, you know, the PNG or JPEG for Facebook purposes, and then change it to a PDF for LinkedIn. The
Okay.
reason I say that, one of the pluses right now of LinkedIn is it actually is favoring what we call document post. So document being a PDF. Now, another thing people don't always realize is you can actually upload PDFs to Facebook groups. You just can't do it to a Facebook page. But I think
Oh.
sometimes in Facebook that it actually ends up where it's a file. It's not necessarily a part of the post. But that's probably the easiest way, because Canva does have what I just showed you is the free version. It will allow you to basically save those files as multiple formats. You just may have to rename it so you're, you know, that one's the PDF and one is the JPEG or PNG. And I actually, if you have a choice between a JPEG and a PNG, the PNG is an actual better format to use. Just a little tip. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. And so, yeah, so that's, you know, so even as an example, by using that flyer, you know, it stood out. If you have the right, and you can even in Canva, in a PDF, you can actually add a link within it. If you're editing it, it'll let you. Let me see if I show you here. They're gonna let me show this. I'm gonna move some things around. I think maybe because I updated it. But there is a way. Let me go elements. Maybe it'll show it up. Can't get it to show right now. But you can add links into a PDF. So like if I wanted to have like the Eventbrite link here, we could put that in there. So that's another neat thing about Canva, that it will let you put a link into your documents, not into your photos. Photos won't let you save it that way. And that might be why that one's not doing it, because that's originally a photo. But that's just something to consider when you're, you know, the other thing too, where LinkedIn's a little tricky. So as an example, if this was the registration for the conference, you're actually better putting the link in the first comment
Okay.
as opposed to putting it as part of the post. That's another, a lot of these platforms, to include Facebook, really the only one this doesn't apply to is Twitter. The link taking someone off their platform, they don't like. So if it's in the post, it's like they punish you. So even, when we talk about video, and as you can see, that's what each one of these is, right? This lets me upload a photo. This will close that out. This will let me upload a video. You can see it pops up the MP4. And then this is the document. And you can do it from Dropbox, Google Drive, or if you have it on your computer. So those are the 3 file types that you can upload to LinkedIn posts, which is really makes it nice and easy to do. So yeah, so that's how you would do that as well. Make sure you guys know that, and that's on your personal or your company page. It works the same. I always recommend, as is being done as well in your post, you can see I usually put the hashtags at the end as well. I just think it makes it for easier reading. It's okay to mix them in once in a while if that, but if you get too crazy with hashtags, or as I like to call them, library index cards, people don't always, from an aesthetic viewpoint, people don't always like that. Let me go back to my profile here. One of the other things you can be doing too, so you'll see that you can actually add, and this is going to change. Mine hasn't changed yet, but this is what we call media. And so what I've done is it let me add media. So as an example, if you were a member of an organization, like this will actually take you to the YouTube for this specific show that we did. And I just basically uploaded the photo for the show. I could add another one if I wanted to, right? You can add documents, videos, presentations. So that's another way for people to get a better idea of some of the things that maybe you're doing. This is going to turn into what they call featured. And let me see if I can find this lady's, because I think she said she had it. It's not showing it to me that way. It does show me her in her about that she's got this video there. But they're coming out with this new thing called featured, which is basically going to take these things that were connected in here before, and they're going to highlight it on the top of your profile. So that's rolling out. So just something for people to be aware about. And that's why these things are constantly changing. There's other things that, the biggest thing I think is to make sure your stuff is accurate, up to date. Even what I've been able to do, and I would recommend it to a lot of you folks. So because we have a district page, I was able to add that as volunteer experience and say what I'm doing as a volunteer. So as an example, I just returned as a volunteer for the second time for Social Media Marketing World, and it's run by Social Media Examiner. So I put that in my experience, and it looks a lot better having something there as opposed to this foundation I was a part of. They never created anything on LinkedIn, so it kind of goes back to it's just that gray box, which is boring, I would think. So those are some of the things. I think the biggest thing is really taking a look at this space, because a lot of people just kind of leave that blue screen up there. Other little things is maybe making sure, if we can pull it up in our settings. Some people hide their photos. And so you can see you have all these privacy options that you have. And in the case of, I would think, a lot of Toastmasters, if they're looking at this as just the start of their speaking career, they may want to allow people to see them publicly and not be afraid of that. So this is where you would do some of that. But now you could do things like how people see your LinkedIn activity. I don't share every time I change something, because then, and maybe some of you have seen that, where you're always getting a notification like somebody changed this, somebody changed that. Well, that's why, because they didn't put that as no. If you're in the news, sure, you want people to know. And then you can also decide if you want to let people tag you. I think that's a good idea. That's how you're able to tag people in your post. But what I've seen happen sometimes, which I'm not a big fan of, is there will be people. Let's see if I've got something in my news feed. Now, if we go to home too, this is the news feed. And so what you'll see sometimes, let me see if I can find one fairly quickly. This might have one because the number of comments. So this guy, Marco Velasquez, has done something that you won't see his picture unless you're a first level connection. I don't really like that, because if it's someone I was considering connecting with, it's kind of like, what are you hiding from me? Why aren't you willing to let me see your picture before we connect? So just, that may be one of those things you want to pay attention to in your settings, is to make sure that people can actually see your feed. The other thing I would recommend, as far as helping you with your profiles, and even if you're doing it as the company page, this is a good example, right? It's very easy to like react, right? Like, love, this is, yeah. So there's five reactions in LinkedIn now. There's like, celebrate, love, insightful, curious. And he's thanking and tagging the Gary, Vaynerchuk, but he's also saying what he thinks of it. So I think that's always something to think about. This gets into the whole engagement aspect of, when you make a comment on a post, give some sort of feedback. I'm big believer in being positive about it. The nice thing about LinkedIn, it's not always very political, but every once in a while you'll have somebody that's like that. I would just say, just ignore them. We don't have time for that in today's world. So, but by engaging, you're going to start getting people that will want to follow you or connect with you, which will help you grow your network. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, as well, say for an example, let's see if I can find one. I'll find one that looks interesting here. So this is one of my friends. So I may not know this guy yet. Yeah, so Donnie Boyven, who she's going to interview. So I click on his on his profile, and if I go under more, I can follow him. So he's now going to get a notification that I followed him. Now I did see that he was on here. He was in the Marines, so I may go back and connect with him later, since I was in the Marines also. And that may be how I kind of lead, is like, hey, you're friends with my friend and I saw that you were also a Marine veteran, would love to connect. And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to sell them anything. I think that's where a lot of people make mistakes when they're building their LinkedIn network, is, it's about building relationships, just like we do in Toastmasters. We get to know, like, and trust each other. I would recommend that people treat LinkedIn the same way. Any questions at this point? I know I probably told you a lot of stuff. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. There we go. So I'll stop sharing. No questions. Or they're like, I got a lot of homework.
And you mentioned one other thing about maybe showing how to create events
Oh,
so
yes.
that clubs
Yes.
can
I
create
will
events for
definitely,
their
I
open
can
house.
definitely show you that. That's a very good one. So one of the things that LinkedIn recently did that I'm a big fan of. So if I go to my home, you'll notice over here on the left, as you scroll down, you'll see this thing called events. So if I hit the plus sign, I can create an event. I can put in the Toastmasters logo, even for the district conference, Kari could create an event called, District 44 Conference. Let's see if they've changed this yet. Oh, I'm so excited now. They just changed that. That you guys just saw something new.
Okay.
All right. So before, the organizer was always an individual. So they've now changed it. You can use your company page. So that is so awesome. And so then what you're able to do, you can put the location, venue, date and time, description. So if you have a ticketing website, let's say it is your, as an example, Eventbrite or whatever you may want to use, you can put that in there, and then that link will take the people to the ticketing site for there. So then once you've created that public event, what'll happen is, as an example, this one, I don't know if she canceled it yet. Yeah, so she hadn't canceled it yet. So you can invite your first level connections, as simple as just hitting invite connections. You search for their name, send them an invite, they'll get a notification. Also in the My Network tab, just like I was talking about earlier. And so where it's similar to Facebook events, let's see if I go back to it, is you can have conversations up until the time of the event. And so as you can see, she was sharing posts about the speakers and who was going to be there at this event. That was the photo that she did. And so it's a great way to kind of build that whole FOMO aspect, as I like to say, for events, for things like this. And so, yeah, so now I'm extremely excited that they've created this this new thing with actually being able to use your company page as the event holder. So what happens though too, so as an example, if I created an event, once I invite, say as an example, Carrie or Roxanne or Phyllis, now you can invite your connections as well. So I don't have to be connected to everyone. The other thing that you may or may not have noticed, and this might be something where a club might want to do this, but then you got to make sure that you're connected to everyone in your club. You can make it a private event. So a non-invitee has to have approval, but you do allow your attendees to invite their connections. Where this one, anybody can see it. So that's kind of, Facebook has that feature as well. What I really like about what LinkedIn is doing with this though is they get so much better organic reach than other people. So even this ticketing website could be a Zoom link if you wanted it, if it was a private event. So that could be an experiment as well if you wanted to put a Zoom link out there for people to be able to check something out. So any questions on events?
So you were saying you could put a Zoom link in there, so you could create an event for a meeting, and now we're having virtual meetings, so you could put that Zoom link in there.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, because I've actually done it. I don't know if I have it. It's going to show me them or not. I think after sometimes they go away. But I know there was a time where I did a couple of my live streams, and I put the link to where the live stream was going to be going on in the event. But that way, I was trying to make people more aware and they'd get a notification about the event as opposed to hoping that they see it. So yeah, so that would be just, as simple as right here. You could even, I don't know if it'll let you put, but I would just put it in right here under ticketing website. Because usually anytime you're doing something, like as an example, if it's a Zoom, in fact, let me see how I'm going to copy this real quick just to show you if it'll cooperate with me. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let's see if I can get it to play nice. Let's see. I think it took part. Yeah, so I think I can get rid of some of this, and then you'll see where it'll be the link. Because it took part of your
signature.
line. Yeah, but that was my fault.
Wow, I didn't know it was that long.
It's got a lot of information.
Right. So right there's your registration link, right? So you could literally, that's your ticketing website, right?
Okay.
So now you could send that out. You have the date and the time, and people come in and register through your link. The one thing I will say that people have tended to forget about, like even there was 118 people that said they were going to this event that's now been postponed because of the virus, is they actually need to register and pay for their ticket or whatever. And so people, so sometimes you may have to put, don't forget to register at the link. And, because as long as you can track that, then you'll get a better idea. And because you'll see, you'll see the people that say they're going, you could easily say, okay, let me see who these people are. And then, and even here, right, it's the same thing. Oh, I mean, hit report. So you can share, right? Share in a post, send in a message, send it out to Twitter, send it to Facebook. So you can share this event on LinkedIn to your other platforms as well.
When you mark an event as private, does it show that when it sends out to the people that you want to, that are in that group?
Well, that kind of goes back to let me go back to that part. So if I hit private, it does give me this option to allow other attendees to invite their connections.
Okay.
So that would allow you, because it's still going to give you that link to share. The problem they may run into is if you haven't allowed this and the person inviting them is not been given permission, they'll be like, hey, it's not letting me go to the event. Like, it's not letting me sign up. That would be the only thing you need to maybe be careful with in regards to the private event. I haven't really done one of those yet, but may not be a bad idea for even something like this, right? As long as you're connected with everybody you're inviting, a private event might not be a bad way to get that information out to people. But that's a good question. Any other questions on events? And it's kind of the same thing. You can put in a cover photo. She chose not to. She just did that. I would have liked to have taken this blue part and just put that up there and maybe put a logo or something in there, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. That's just me. But you can also see how things change up depending on the size. When you look at my logo over here on the left, how things are cut off a little bit because they put my picture in the center. So that may be something I have to consider in redesigning my background because things get cut off on that view as opposed to this view. That's where it doesn't always, here the circle's there. They're always changing things, so you just have to live with it. That's what keeps people like me busy, because they're always changing things.
To see the wisdom of changing it quarterly.
Right. Well, yeah, that's a good point, because you're like, oh, they changed where my face is, right? Yeah. So yeah, so that's I'm glad you brought up events, because I think that's a very hidden powerful feature that if people start using more, I think, not to mention LinkedIn will start bringing in more stuff. Um, but yeah, so no, good, yeah, good questions. Any other questions?
Hi, everyone. This is Yuna.
Hi, Una.
Hi. I'm Carrie. I'm sure you probably went over this, but I kind of missed it. Uh, what is the purpose of having the linked up LinkedIn page? Is it in lieu of a Facebook, just to share information to the group, or to solicit new prospects?
I would say all of the above. It is a good idea to have it in addition to the other social media sites. It is a
Okay.
way to recruit members that are maybe looking for more professional development opportunities. So people who are already active in a job search. So you may get members who want to utilize, say, table topics for interview skills. It is an opportunity, it is an opportunity to share information amongst your club members or other district members or Toastmasters members as well. And then
Okay.
I'll let Jim add anything that.
No, I think that was a great answer. And in fact, Una, if you even look at it this way, believe it or not everybody's on Facebook. And not everybody
True.
likes to go and check their Facebook groups or their
Mhm.
Facebook page. So you may tend to find that you have some people that would rather be on LinkedIn as opposed to Facebook. And so then this just gives you another way to get that information out. And you may run across where somebody sees a post from your club's LinkedIn page and they're like, oh, I need to find out more. And then, so I think it's a great way to get people interested, because I will say I see a lot of people at times in LinkedIn in general, and some of the people that I'm networking with asking about, oh, I'm trying to figure out how to become a better speaker. And a lot of people's like, oh, you should check out Toastmasters. So now you even have a way, right? Whether it's sharing your district's club or giving them the website, or, maybe even finding, following Toastmasters International. So I think it's a great way to recruit as well. And Carrie, that's a really good point you brought up, that especially with what we're going through now, and maybe people will start recording more, you could take some of these at the tabletop person is okay with it, even the speeches, because they're under 10 minutes. You could post a club member's speech as a post on your Toastmasters page, and people could be like, oh, wow, that was a really good speech. I want to find out how I do that. And then you're highlighting your member, and you're also highlighting your club as well.
Okay. So would everyone need to create a profile in the club?
Everyone, I would say, from a professional standpoint, I think anyone that is a business professional should have a LinkedIn profile.
Okay.
But you only need one company page, and you don't have to have everybody on it, but everyone can follow it. Even people that aren't in your club can follow it.
Okay.
Would you agree, Carrie?
Yes, yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Okay, I think, well, next step, you should probably have a class for LinkedIn for Dummies so that some of us can join.
Is that on the Toastmasters? Is that one of the downloads too?
Well, they do provide a step-by-step guide on at least how to set up the page. And I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to share the slides with you.
I was trying to remember though. Do they have one for the profile also? Because there was two links. There was the one that was for the page.
Let me.
Is this being recorded so I could go back and listen to it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great.
Now let me see here. I only see the one linked, and it's to a PDF document
okay.
of, let me share my screen real quick. I don't even know if you can see it. It seems so small,
Right.
but it's 6 pages. And so it guides you through where to click, and it has screenshots of how to, say, upload the Toastmasters logo for your club page,
Okay.
how to add the tagline, how to update.
And I think LinkedIn has some free courses that will like teach you how to set up your profile, some very basic stuff. And there's a lot of people out there. I could even look for some resources that I could share with Kari if she wanted to share with the district for people that they're kind of like here's how to set up your LinkedIn basic stuff.
That would be great. Could definitely do that. Thank you. Any other questions while we've got another couple of minutes?
Kari, this is Catherine. So when you send out the link to the recording, will you send out this attachment here on the screen?
I will. I'm going to send out the recording and the slides to everyone that registered, and then I'm going to put the recording on the D44 website.
Okay.
Guide separately.
And the step-by-step guide as well, because that would be helpful for me.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Well, wow. Thank you so much, Jim. This has been very enlightening for me, and I know you've been such a big help in getting the district LinkedIn page set up, and I'm still learning things. I was taking notes, so I appreciate you sharing with everyone all these tips. And this is being recorded, so it will be shared. And I did want to just mention a couple more things while I've got some people on the line. And we have talked about it before in email and on LinkedIn and on Facebook, but just want to, again, share how you can do a virtual Toastmasters meeting. We had a recorded webinar about how to do that and a little bit of guidance on using Zoom for your Toastmasters meeting. And again, I'll share these slides. And then I know Roxanne is on and want to do a very quick plug for Talk Up Toastmasters, that is still going on. If you have had an open house, please send the flyer to recognition chair at d44toastmasters.org. Either the flyer, and then we will also know if you have added new members. Roxanne is able to track that. And Roxanne, did you want to add anything else?
Yes, thank you, Kari. So the membership madness is still going on. Originally, it was through today, but we've decided to extend the deadline. And so everyone has until 27th now. If you get 8 or more members to renew, you will get $15 investment bucks. And if you have 100% renewals, your club will earn $50 investment bucks.
All right, thank you, Roxanne. I'll add those slides to this when I send it out, and then everyone can take part. So,
Roxanne, do we have to, as far as the Talk Up Toastmasters, do we have to send you information stating that we've added 5 to 7, added or reinstated 5 to 7 members, or is that something that you can pull a report and see it for yourself?
So for Talk Up Toastmasters International actually tracks that, and I will get a report from them. And then with the renewals, I am pulling that myself.
Okay.
So it's only the open house flyer that you need to make sure you submit it to recognition chair at d44toastmasters.org.
Got it. Okay.
All right. Okay, well, thanks again, Jim. Really appreciate it. We might need another LinkedIn for Dummies.
Well, I'd be happy to do that. And if anyone has any questions, please connect with me on LinkedIn at my name, Jim Fuse, and then that way you can message me if you've got questions. Happy to help folks get their LinkedIn stuff going. Not a problem at all.
Okay. Thank you so much, and we will say good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good
Good
night.
night. Thanks, everyone.
Good night.